Hello and welcome back to Volume 2 of my May Basics Guide. I'm going to go ahead and start off where we left off, which was reviewing what I taught in the last video and how you might apply them in an actual match scenario. As a review, the things that we covered were 3 moves I use on the ground a lot, which include 5K, far slash, and 2D. Showed you how to implement ball, dolphin, let me get the dolphin out, and hoop. Also taught you basic special canceling and holding charge inputs. And you can just play either another player or go into actual versus mode or story mode to get some matches in. I'm just doing this in training mode just so I can switch back and forth a little bit easier. You can see the settings I use. Make sure that the burst is set to default, regen is set off so the rounds can actually end. Set this to calm, and your computer will start attacking you. So the goal here is, obviously, if you're new to fighting games or games, you would just like sort of just kind of move towards your opponent and start mashing. And you would do this with some level of success on your players. The goal here is to learn how to move in control and with intent. So we're going to go ahead and isolate all the options you have kind of from the ground up. And you may think like, oh, well, you're not really playing Guilty Gear because I only am, using 3 buttons and maybe 3 specials to do anything. But with these few handful of tools, you can kind of start to implement a strategy and build on top of that. So I'm going to try to show you how that's done. So here we go. So here, I don't know how this computer active is, so it looks like it's kind of moving sometimes and not. So here, if I want to practice being aggressive, I can kind of just run at the computer and seeing how they respond. Starting with, and you can kind of just see that as I hit them, they're getting pushed back. If I want, I can try to go for a low. Looks like they went for a low. Practice getting used to switching your stick position from a dash to a low. So like 4 dash low, 4 dash, 4 dash low, dash low. Or if I want to run up and do a 5K, 4 dash neutral, or 4 dash neutral low. It's gonna take some practice at first, but you'll get used to it. And you want to also practice, moving backwards. Maybe learning how to backdash, doing stuff out of backdash. If you want, if you feel like you run out of space, you can kind of run over them and then give yourself more space. If you want to try the same 2 moves defensively, kind of stay in one spot and see if you can catch them if they run at you. And so now you've implemented a basic ground plan when they move towards you, or if you want to run at them. So that's using the 3 basic ground moves. Now implementing that with some special canceling. you can do kick into ball. Oh, looks like we got them. Also useful is if you can score the 2D knockdown and then special cancel in the ball. Note the special cancel still comes out if they block. So that's kind of useful. Also note for ball and hoop, if a ball is like on the stage, you won't be able to, like if you see me, I'm trying to input the ball again. It's not gonna come out until the last ball either like expired or hit something, or maybe went off the stage. Same thing goes for hoop. I can't set another hoop, so this, I'm gonna run away. So if I have a hoop out, I can't set another hoop out. It doesn't matter what button you press. And then you can kind of just like for the more useful button in neutral is not the hoop or ball. It's the dolphin. So just like you were practicing KS and 2D, practice throwing that in as both a poke or a defensive maneuver. If it's too hard to react to a May approach or like an opponent's approach, just kind of give yourself more space and see if you can respond then. So this game moves pretty fast, and you already have a lot in your mind trying to remember in time what button you want to press. So just give yourself more space. Also note that here, that's how one way that Dolphin helps is that you're kind of holding block and you're kind of in a defensive position where the margin of error can't go wrong. And you just praying for an S kind of gives you a pretty high margin of error. Like it'll just beat a lot of things that they're trying to do. It'll just interrupt them because Dolphin's so fast. So I can kind of just like fight over. Yep, so in a nutshell, get used to just pressing buttons, finding the range on offense, reacting. That's all you really need to do at the moment. All right, I'm gonna turn this off. Back to a training dummy. Once you've gotten used to hitting them with just basic pokes, you're gonna want to maximize those opportunities to either do more damage or create a more optimal block string for pressure. And there's a huge like layers that you can go into detail in terms of the nuances. But as a general rule of thumb, I like to say that if you hit you're gonna basically be in a state where you're in neutral and you're fighting, and you're gonna land a hit eventually, and they're gonna block or get hit. And whenever they will either do one of those things, or you'll whiff, which there's less you can do about. But you basically need to make a reaction on whether or not they got block or hit, and then depending on one or the other, you optimize that situation. So if they got blocked, you want to maximize pressure, and then either go for resetting the pressure or disengaging safely. If you hit them, you want to optimize for some combination of damage and continuing pressure again. So I can basically start you off with some things that will help get you into that mindset. So starting off with some of our two tools, kick and slash. Let's talk briefly about how the opponent moves when you hit them. So notice how the character getting hit gets pushed back. Um, this changes depending on whether or not they get hit or if they are blocking. So you can kind of see they're getting hit this much, and if they're blocking, let me set it to block. Okay. In general, they'll get pushed back way farther if they're blocking. And so note that once you kind of end off with this far slash range, you can't do anything anymore, and they're sort of have enough space to like disengage or jump over you or whatever. So you kind of want to do a safer option, make the most of the blocks that they took. So whenever they get pushed out too far, you can always run up and do it again. Another option you might want to consider is special canceling into ball or hoop. So here in the ball or hoop, they would get hit, and then you would special cancel into P hoop, or you could special cancel into P ball. And then this sort of gives you some incentive and their disincentive to kind of counterattack, because you've created this zone where if they want to counterattack, they have to either face a ball or a dolphin. So it's like here and then launch, and they're not going to want to attack you back. This is a straightforward thing you can do. Let's see, what else can you do? Notice that this is also an option if they get hit, obviously, and they can't do anything else. What was I going to say? Oh, okay, I'll just demonstrate this if they're not blocking. So I can do it again. So this is just the same example with them blocking or getting hit. Next type of cancel that I find is pretty useful is ending in a sweep. So if they're close enough, you can go K / 2D. What's nice about this is they'll get knocked down, and then you can run in their face and hit a button again, and they'll be forced to block because they just woke up. Alternatively, you can also, if you do go for sweep, you can also end with a special cancel of some sort. So you could do sweep ball or sweep hoop. These are even safer because they're knocked down and they can't even move away from the ball or the hoop. The last thing I want to talk about is special canceling into dolphin. Here you can basically, of the three options, this is quote unquote the safest if you don't get them to get hit, but in the sense that this will beat a lot of counter pokes if they want to like sort of try to poke you after a far slash. So this is a little harder to do if you're dashing in at doing that, but if you get in the habit of going to neutral or 4 when you start the kick, the hit stop from the kick and the far slash will give you enough frames to fulfill the requirements of charge for a dolphin. So an example of this would be to run up 5K / dolphin. You can also do a similar string with 2D in the mix. I'll show the same example with them blocking. Let me see if I can get the far slash out. So here you can see this is the example of them blocking. I have to get pretty close if I want them to block the 2D. So yeah, that basically wraps it up. You can practice those 3 special cancels and the different gatlings into far slash and 2D, and basically build that on top of what you were doing before. I'm going to end this with doing a little bit more sample match play with the computer. All right, here we go. There's a hoop. Oh, the computer jumped. That's me ending with dolphin. Notice like sometimes I'll just poke with stuff. You don't have to get it every time. Let's see, do the hoop. Oh, got punished. Oh, getting supered. I'm gonna counterattack with dolphin. Go 2K. Let's see. So notice now I'm not doing that much more different from what I was doing at the beginning of the video. I'm just extending some hits with like a kicker, ball, or hoop, and just giving a little bit more pressure, more things for the opponent to think about when they have to block. That's the video.